Hi, folks. Welcome to a new episode. That was weird. A new episode of the Ivy Boys podcast, presented by Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gun Decker. RebeccaSellsDreams.com. 314-369-9680. I am your host, Chipper Lewis, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Joel Fry, the bomb pop eating co-host, Joel Fry. Joel, how's it going?
I am so hydrated, if you can't tell by reading the script below me here on the live stream. Great to be with you. We had a little bit left over after the holidays, so I decided to indulge briefly while I'm here with you fine people. Chipper gets to drink a beer later on in the show. I will not be drinking a beer since I am coming at you live from my day job. However, nothing says I can't enjoy a little snack. 40-calorie snack, by the way. Can you believe Bomb Pops are only 40 calories? It's kind of ridiculous.
I'm a little surprised by that one. I thought it would be at least 140.
Right. Yeah, I would have gone toward that as well. But this is going to be my version of beer tonight, and I'll be able to drive home afterwards. So
Well, there you go.
All is good, man.
Very good. Good thing is I'm at home, and I'm enjoying beer now, and I am going to luckily be probably a little bit buzzed when the Cubs play the Reds again tonight, because that is unbelievably frustrating.
7-3 now. The Reds are against the Cubs. You have a 700 winning percentage against the Cubs. You have a 444 winning percentage against everybody else in all of baseball. The Reds have the Cubs number, which is odd. Since Joe Madden became manager of the Cubs, it feels like the Northsiders have had the Reds' number every single year, and the data proves that out. So this is one season where Cincinnati's getting back at the Cubs a little bit. Yes, Chicago can beat the Pirates, woohoo! But the Reds have been a thorn in the side of the Cubs for the entire 2019 season now.
Yes, it's unbelievably frustrating. But we're going to tackle that in a second. We're doing something a little bit different tonight. We are going to have, because we're kind of under a time strain. We're doing a live episode the same night that there's a Cubs game, but we started early enough that I believe that we can get done before the Cubs game. And the only way we're going to be able to get done is if we put ourselves on a timer. Isn't that correct, Joel?
That's absolutely right. I don't want you or me to have to miss a Cubs game for this show. So
No, not the
enjoy
slightest.
both of them tonight.
We are not those people. We are not going to go over a Cubs game at all. So we are going to be on a 7-minute timer. Hopefully this sounds loud and you can hear it over your bomb pop eating.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll put the mic up too.
Okay.
Like this.
There we go. Hey, Mazel Tov. All right, so before we jump into the Pirates series and the struggles against the Reds, we've got to tackle the big news of last night, and that is not the game or Wilson Contreras going down to the IL. It's the trade for Martin Maldonado, and I'm starting the timer now. Joel, Martin Maldonado, what this does, I would have liked to seen him this offseason, but Vic Caratini really had changed my mind there for a little bit. Martin Maldonado, he's a very, very good, if not great, defensive catcher. Framing is absolutely amazing. He has a good arm. The question, of course, is he can't really hit, but that's okay because of everything else he does.
Yeah, it's okay if the rest of the Cubs hit the way they're supposed to. And I even think about the term supposed to. A lot of the guys are hitting to their baseball card right now, or even a little bit better. Schwarber's batting average this season is indicative of what his career number has been up to this point, about 230, 229, which is depressing. Chris Bryant's right there. Rizzo, all the guys who you expect to be hitting right now are. It's just the Cubs aren't plating enough runs to put on a prolonged winning streak. So you add a guy in there who is going to be at the plate maybe 50, 60 weighted runs created plus worse than the guy who's on the injured list right now. And you're going to have to – this is going to test people who feel that framing is unbelievably valuable. Because if you look at what Maldonado is going to contribute at the plate versus behind it, I think you're going to find that Wilson Contreras will be missed very sorely after about 3 or 4 games. I don't think you can go more than a week without realizing that the best offensive catcher in baseball is not behind the plate. Even if you have a guy that can frame really well, has an excellent arm, and blocks the plate well, he's terrific in all those facets of the game. It's just when the team isn't as potent offensively, maybe, and it might even be constructed as being not as potent offensively as we would have hoped. A guy with that glaring of a weakness at the plate is going to shine even brighter.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I don't know what to add to that. That was spot on. That was exactly spot on. So I'm not going to add to it. I'm going to ask you a follow-up question here. When Wilson comes back, because they're saying 10 days, and it's retroactive for the 14th. So we're sitting there now 8 days that Wilson Contreras will be back. Are the Cubs going to carry 3 catchers past July 31st?
They did it back in 2016. Joe Maddon has been on record saying he likes carrying 3 catchers. And you've got a guy who's very versatile in Wilson Contreras. He's going to need some days. You know who else is going to need some days? Anthony Rizzo at some point. Victor Caratini can play first base. It is not that bad to have 3 catchers on your roster. And the Cubs have had a winning formula with that in the past. Now, I think that if you were going to look at Contreras, David Ross, and Miguel Montero, you're probably getting more offensively out of that trifecta than you are out of Caratini, Maldonado, and Contreras, which is much harder to say than Montero, Ross, and Contreras.
Yes.
Caratini's been good he's been good at the dish this year, hitting wise, but he certainly proved that he can look a little overmatched against top flight pitching, and that's what you're going to see down the stretch, especially in this division where theoretically every team in the division is going to have a shot by mid-August, still in mid-August potentially. We're going to see what happens if the Pirates fade at this point, but everybody has a shot at being right there in this. So you're going to see the best of the best. These guys aren't going to be selling off pieces, and you're going to need someone who is capable at the plate. Contreras needs to play every day, and this is going to be a way to ensure that he does play every day, I think, personally.
If Vic Caratini is the piece that can get you a Whit Merrifield or a Ketel Marte, and I'm not saying Ketel Marte's on the market because he most likely isn't, but somebody that caliber, if they say we want Vic Caratini in that package, and you're the Cubs, do you say yes?
What about Victor Caratini makes you say no if you're the Cubs? What skill set does he have aside from living, breathing organism who knows how to catch? What else does he do that makes you reluctant to add him to a package that includes Whit Merrifield?
There's a couple. Martin Maldonado's only a Cub, technically under contract for 1 year. Vic Caratini can play 2 positions. Cubs love that. They love that.
They do love that. You might also be able, because, who knows what's going to happen in 2020 with the, what's the kid's name? Not Arcia. He's not a kid, but there's a what's that?
Miguel Amaya.
That's right, Miguel Amaya, or Amaya, however you say
Whatever,
it, tomato. I will definitely learn how to properly say it by the time he's on the 40-man. But
yes.
he, I don't know. Maybe he comes up next year. Maybe his development gets sped up out of necessity for it. I'm not sure. I just don't think that Caratini, even if he is a guy that can spell you a little bit for Rizzo, you know who else can spell you at first base for Rizzo? Chris Bryant. He's done it before.
Right.
So you talk about how the Cubs love guys who are multi-positional. They've got like 5. They got there are a bunch of guys.
Are you going to tell me that Javi couldn't play first if he had to?
Gosh,
right?
Javi could. Javi was the emergency catcher back in 2016 for a little while before Wilson Contreras came up.
That and while Schwarber was hurt too, of course.
That's right.
Schwarber is the emergency catcher. Just so everybody, if no one's aware of that, Schwarber is the emergency catcher.
Schwarber's an emergency left fielder some nights. He has hard. He's much better than he used to be, but boy, thank goodness his bat's coming around. I don't have to worry too much about him being out in left field and taking up opportunities for another guy who might hit 20 bombs. He's done much better lately.
Yes, he has, and except for not getting on base. He may have 20 bombs, but he doesn't get on base as a leadoff hitter, and that bothers me. We have about 30 seconds left, and so my question to you is, are you good with the trade? Are you good with giving up Mike Montgomery and having him go be a starter in Kansas City and getting Martin Maldonado?
I'm great with it. If you're not okay with it, it's because you're sentimental for a time when he was useful. Right now, he is not an effective pitcher or an effective piece of the Cubs team. There are guys in AAA, and I'm looking at you, Dylan Maples, who need to come through and do a little bit better because at that level, so you can come up and be an effective major league piece, because you should be better than Montgomery. Even if he's a lefty, you should be better against lefties than he was.
That's the timer. That is 30 seconds. I mean, 7 minutes.
I was going to say.
That was 30 seconds. That would have been ridiculous. So that's the end of this topic. You're good with the trade. I'm good with the trade. Let's move on. So you mentioned AAA. You mentioned Dylan Maples and trying to set up. Before the timer starts, my question to you is simple. Ian Happ has been on an absolute tear the last, almost 14 games.
Right.
Is it time? Do you bring him up, or do you keep him down there and hope that's enough for a trade value?
It's not time yet. I say he has to do this. Listen to me giving him referendums. I say you evaluate it after the trade deadline. If he is still a property of the Chicago Cubs after the trade deadline passes, he should be on a major league roster. I feel that he has proven himself over the last couple of weeks, but keep in mind his OPS is still right around 800 at the AAA level. So he's only been dominating it for a short period of time. He has not been raking the way that you would hope he should be for the entire season. Don't know if some of that's melancholy from being down there in the first place, but you would expect that he would be a little more motivated. And I mean, motivated in baseball, take that for what you will. Fact of the matter is he's seeing the ball really well. He's barreling it up. He's hitting it really well. I do remember when Kyle Schwarber got sent down to the minors for a couple of weeks in 2017, he was creaming the ball from jump. He hit like 340, 350, something like that, and they had to bring him back up. And Schwarber in 2017, in the second half of the season after he came back, was an extraordinary bat. He had like an 850, 860 OPS or something like that after he came back up. So you hope that the Happ can have that sort of impact because he's a guy that can spell you at a couple of positions, second base and in center field.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you again on that. If he is on the Cubs August 1st, then yes, you do call him up. I agree. But there's absolutely no reason to call him up before the trade deadline. I don't care if you think that he needs to audition at the major league level. He's finally hitting outstanding down in AAA. Something that you want to see, a possibility of a development out of him. And that is something you can bring to the table when trade talks happen and it involves Ian Happ. You can come to the table and say, the development's there. He's hitting the ball, the cover off the ball in AAA. It's happening. If he gets brought up to majors and struggles, his trade value is gone. His trade value is the level of Addison Russell or Daniel Descalso.
I would say he's more tradable than Daniel Descalso regardless. If he doesn't get a hit for the rest of the season, he is more tradable than Descalso. Descalso's contract is not enormous. I mean, you can eat it if you want to. I don't think the Cubs would like to. And Happ is so controllable right now that, yeah, I mean, no matter what, he's more tradable.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Tradable Addison Russell. Level of Addison Russell tradable.
I get that.
Tradability. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
Right there.
That's, yeah, drinkability, tradability.
Drinkability, tradability. Drinkability. I like that a lot. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to call him up. There isn't. Robel Garcia is doing just fine. Just fine when he plays. Correct? When Robel has been starting, he hits the ball. Yes, he strikes out, but we knew that going in with Robel Garcia. He's hitting very, very well.
He's as advertised.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm very happy with it. And I'm okay. Are you okay if the Cubs don't go get a second baseman?
I can live with it. I mean, look, okay, so Garcia so far in 8 games, all right, he has 2 home runs. He has 5 extra base hits in 8 games, which is excellent. That's a pace. If you were playing a full season, 100 extra base hits is historic.
Yes.
He's hitting 316. He has a 364 on base, 842 Let me say that one more time without laughing. An 842 slugging. I believe the record is 857. I think Babe Ruth did that. He has an OPS of 1.206, an OPS plus of 197, meaning he is 97% better than the average player at his position. This is not sustainable, obviously,
No.
but it is nice to see so far. He's doing what you thought he would. He's doing a little better than what you thought he would do. He's on pace for 4. If he were to play 160 games, he would hit 40 home runs at his current pace. At second base, he would be the second player in Cubs history to do that, aside from Ryan Sandberg. So it's nice to see that. I mean, talk about Ian Happ as a tradable piece. What about Robel Garcia? He's a guy who is producing at the major league level, and you might be able to get something of value for him because he is creaming major league pitching right now.
Could you imagine if the Cubs traded him for like Will Smith? The uproar Cubs Twitter would have.
It would be uproarious at first. Of course, then I mean, what do you do at that point? So do you? I don't know how much time we have, but I just want to throw a hypothetical out there. You trade Garcia and call up Ian Happ in the same day. I think that would be well received by Cubs fans, which it should not be Theo and Jed's priority anyway. They shouldn't care what we think. And they don't, thank God.
No.
So, but if you do that, I think honestly, you're kind of softening the blow a little bit for Garcia. You're bringing up Ian Happ. A lot of hope and excitement comes with that, and suddenly it doesn't seem so bad.
Do you think Ian Happ may get a jolt if he's still a Cub on August 1st? A jolt of confidence?
So. Yeah, I think so. I think that knowing that you're wanted is important. Then again, I mean, knowing that you're wanted, if you get traded for, then you're wanted by the people that get you. So he may very well be. I mean, I don't know what's in Ian Happ's head. I don't know how he looks at things. I know he was furious to come to Iowa, as most people who don't live here are. So he might be bothered by being traded away, or he could see it as a positive of, okay, this team really wants me. They know that my skill set's here for them. I'm gonna do the best I can for them. I'm gonna be locked in at the plate, and I'm gonna hit the ball the way I know I'm capable of, the way I did as a rookie, especially when I first came up. If I'm Ian Happ, I think that way.
I mean, who wouldn't want the potential of a 25 to 30 home run hitting switch hitter who can play second and third if he had to, plus center field? Who wouldn't want that, right?
It just reminds me that he was supposed to be well, he is supposed to be Ben Zobrist.
Exactly.
He's supposed to be a better Ben Zobrist, and it hasn't worked out that way yet. Just has a massive hole in his swing, and I worry. I don't know what the Cubs are looking for from him at the AAA level. How long they need to see him hit this way, or even if he is hitting this way, do they not like? Because if you're batting 380, you're getting out 62% of the time. Obviously, do they not like the way he's getting out? Is he being gotten on any specific pitch, any location where they feel that he can be exploited at the next level? I don't know. I look at his numbers, I look at the slash line, and I think, all right, that's good enough to play at the major league level. But if they're seeing stuff we aren't, and then if he comes to the big league club and gets overmatched, I mean, what good did you do him? You did him no good at that point.
Right. Okay. Timer's up. It was weird that it didn't make noise there because I think I was checking the timer. So before we moved on to the next point, and again, we're going to stick with the trade talk. Before we move on to the next point, Ian Happ, is he a Cub August 1st?
Yes.
I agree. I think he's a Cub August 1st, and I think he's a Chicago Cub August 1st, not an Iowa Cub.
Okay.
Because I see the scenario just like you with Robel Garcia. He's producing at the major league level, and I see that he could possibly have a higher trade value than Ian Happ. But Ian Happ has a higher ceiling.
Okay.
So you keep the guy with the ceiling. That's
I'm
just,
with you.
That's just where I'm at on this one. So, okay, trade talk time. Like we said, again, we're going to get to the Pittsburgh and Reds series. This is the Ivy Boys podcast presented by Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gundecker, 314-369-9680 or RebeccaSellsDreams.com. Before we get to the Pirates and Reds, I want to ask you a couple questions. Kind of the same. We're kind of bleeding in with what I just asked you about Ian Happ. I'm going to give you a couple names that are on the Cubs right now in the organization. I want your opinion if they're going to be Cubs August 1st, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to knock this down to about 4 minutes. It's going to be a 4-minute topic. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. Ready? Albert
Ready.
Almora Jr.
No.
No.
No. I say he gets traded.
Okay. Why? Just curious. I know we have 4 minutes to burn, so and I
You
only have
got-
like 3 names.
We only have 4 minutes, but we better talk because we have 4 minutes. You got enough guys who are versatile that can play center field. You can get more production out of the outfield without Almora in it. I think that Jason Hayward's ascendancy right now is real, and I think the Cubs think it's real. Almora is hitting the ball with more power this season, but I don't think that you're getting enough out of him to justify him being an everyday center fielder. And you can platoon at worst either center field or right field, especially if Ian Happ is up and hitting. I do believe that some confluence of events is going to occur that get Ian Happ onto the Major League roster on August 1st. Getting rid of, and that's so pejorative, but saying goodbye to Albert Almora, I think, is going to be the easiest way. He has a sentimental value to this franchise because he ended up ultimately scoring the go-ahead run in the 10th inning, and not only that, but he was the first draft pick of the Theo and Jed regime.
Yeah.
So they have been giving him ample time to prove what he is. But I think we've really seen what he is and what he isn't over the last 4 seasons.
Yes, remember, he is sneaky slow.
He is.
Sneaky
Depressingly
slow.
so.
Just bad slow. He's just so
Yeah.
slow. All right.
It's a good jump, though.
Yes. Next name. I'm sure you know what's coming. Kyle Schwarber.
I think he's a Cub.
Oh. That one I didn't see because I'm on the fence that he's not.
Okay.
Only because my thinking behind this is a name that I'm seeing thrown around now that he's also an outfielder, plays left field, is Alex Gordon. And if Alex Gordon becomes a Chicago Cub, I don't see how Schwarber is not a Kansas City Royal.
Okay. Now, Alex Gordon, I mean, so are you in on Alex Gordon? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that that's kind of a thing?
I think I am. It's not like, the Cubs. I know Alex Gordon has not hit 20 home runs. Kyle Schwarber has. Alex Gordon has a higher on base percentage, OPS plus of 110, which you've always said, what is it? 100's good.
100 is average. He's 10% better than the
10%
average player in his
exactly.
position.
It's 274 on base. Batting average. Am I saying that he's the leadoff hitter? Am I saying he's the answer at the top of the order? Absolutely not. I still believe that's Jason Hayward. But I think Alex Gordon, plus he's a Gold Glove caliber outfielder. He has 6 Gold Gloves in left field.
That is a win now and don't worry about the future move, which the Cubs have made those types of moves before. I don't know if this team is worth that move.
Isn't the point to win the championship every year?
When you're in the winning window, yes.
Are we not coming to the end of what I have called the John Lester window?
Is replacing Kyle Schwarber with Alex Gordon the thing that's going to put you over the top, though? He's 35 years old. And if you're trying to win a championship this year, again, that doesn't matter. But Schwarber's 26, maybe 27. I don't think he's 27 yet. They have about the same OPS. Gordon doesn't have much power. He's not really a leadoff-y guy anymore. He does have 5 stolen bases, but I mean his profile is that of a 6 or 7 hitter if you throw Hayward at the leadoff spot. I understand what you're saying with Gordon, but I wouldn't do it.
All right, timer's up, but I have one more.
Okay.
I should have done like 5 minutes. I have one more. Okay. So you think Schwarber is going to be a Cub? You think Almora Jr. is going to be a Cub? Mm-hmm. What if, and this is kind of MLB The Show trade thing going on here, but it is what they're asking for. It in some combination. Would you, if the Royals would do it, what would it take to get Gordon, Diekman, and Merrifield?
All three of them?
I know I'm being ridiculous, but why not, right?
Okay, it would require Adbert Alzolay, Addison Russell, Albert Almora, Dwayne Underwood Jr., and Miguel Amaya.
Do you do it?
No.
No. I wouldn't do that either. I definitely would not do that trade because you threw in Miguel Amaya.
Yep.
If you did not throw in Miguel, I there's a chance that I would have done it.
Would you do it? And I know we're going to run long on this segment, so I apologize. But would you do it for Almora, Schwarber, Alzolay, and Nico Horner?
Ooh.
Because that's a lot of guys that you're getting back.
That is a lot of guys.
Do you trade 4 guys for 3?
What's Witt's contract look like? Can you get that really quick?
I can work on that really quick. He's older than I'd like him to be.
I know he's like 31, 32.
Yeah, so I don't care. I don't necessarily. I mean, okay, so a couple of peripherals first off. He has a 2.6 WAR. He has a 307 batting average this year. So he's a good player, man. He's a really
player.
Really good ball player.
Really good player. Does it have to be Alzolay? Can it be Underwood Jr.? Can it be Underwood Jr. and possibly another piece to make up for Alzolay?
Maples?
I don't hate it. I don't hate that trade. I really don't. And it sounds ridiculous, and we're being ridiculous with this trade offer right now because it most likely isn't going to happen. But I sat here last week and told you that Nico Horner is not an untouchable.
So this is Merrifield's age 30 season. He's 30 years, 173 days, so he's 30 and a half. He is signed through 2022 with a team option for 2023. So that would take him through his age 34 season.
How much?
All right, this year, he's crazy cheap. There's no way he's gonna have. They're gonna have to restructure this. He'll make $5 million next year. 6.75 the year after, 2.75 the year after that as a 33-year-old. And then he has a team option for $10.5 million with a $750,000 buyout. Now, I know Merrifield, I mean, he hasn't been around all that long. I mean, he was a rookie in 16 at the age of 27, which is why his contract is so team-friendly right now. It's going to have to get restructured. He's led the league in hits each of the last 2 seasons. He led the league in stolen bases twice in a row. He's a fine player in his 4th season, but he is 30. So it's a great contract. Probably one of the reasons why the Royals want so much for him.
Which would make sense. Alex Gordon's a free agent after this year if his option's not picked up.
Yeah, I don't want to give away squat for him.
Wow. Not even Schwarber straight up. Or Almora. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Almora straight up for Alex Gordon?
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just throwing it out there.
I would check all his medicals if that was going to happen. And then I would ask a psychiatric evaluator to talk on the phone with the Royals ownership for half an hour to make sure they're of sound body and mind. And then I would say yes.
Okay, last one. All right, last scenario for Alex Gordon. Albert Almora Jr. and Ian Happ. For Alex Gordon and Jake Diekman.
Yes, I would do it.
Okay. I wanted you to say yes to Alex Gordon on the Cubs. I love the idea. I don't know why I love this idea. Maybe it's because I like Alex Gordon. I've always liked him as a player. I always wanted him on the Cubs. When he was a free agent, I wanted him to be a Cub. It would have solved it would have been solved a little bit of issues that we have right now, wouldn't it?
I liked him too. I liked him even, his rookie card was one of my favorites. I thought he was going to be huge, and it turned out he was fine.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Remember he signed that huge contract, and then they couldn't re-sign Kane and Hosmer.
Yeah, it was a problem.
That was a problem.
But it was almost a NFL quarterback type thing.
Yes. Yes, it was. So we went well over our limit on that one. This is the Ivy Boys podcast presented by Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gundecker, 314-369-9680. RebeccaSellsDreams.com. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about actual baseball being played on the field. Cubs came out of the second half firing against the Pirates. Looked great. Didn't really have any miscues on defense. The offense was there. Pitching looked amazing. How awesome, by the way, was Yu Darvish?
He was great. It was so much fun to watch that. His stuff is electric, and you don't know if that's going to happen 3 of the next 5 starts, 2 of the next 5, if he doesn't have another good start until late August or whatever. But it's so encouraging to see that that's in there for him. His ERA is a 4.7 now, and that's terrible, but it's much better than he was earlier. You look at his last 2 months. He maybe has had 2 or 3 starts that were subpar, but for the most part, he's been at least average, and he has been electric a couple of times. It was so nice to see that. Because I listened to the game on the radio. I loved hearing the crowd go, "You!"
I know, that was
immediately, like right off the bat. That stadium, the fan base for the Cubs is so eager for him to take off.
Yes.
We as fans want him to be great. He's going to be a fun guy to root for when it works.
Yes.
And I believe it's going to work.
I'm with you. I do too. By the way, where am I at on that over-under on innings pitched? I said push, right? 21 innings? A push?
You were way under.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's going 6-7 innings.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad I was wrong.
It's nice that he's going 6-7 innings because the bullpen right now is getting taxed a little more than you would like.
Yes.
And a lot of that's pitch counts too. Although Lester was good through 6 2/3 on Saturday, that was nice. Man. And Quintana I think threw 6 or 7, right? He threw a quality start. He threw 6 innings.
He pitched well. I was happy with Quintana. I was happy all weekend with the Cubs, and then they played the Reds.
But then again, with the Reds, it's not like it was just bad defense. Hendricks was fine through 6 innings, gave up 2 runs. It was a really nice start from him.
Something I want to say about Hendricks, I was surprised he went further than he did because I think in the second inning he hit like 50 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
So I was shocked to see that he lasted longer than 4 innings.
Yeah, and he lasted 6. I mean, it was a good start out of him, man.
Yep, and then they decided to bring in Rosario and Brad Brach.
I wasn't as bothered by that as I was by the defense. Now, Brad Brach bothers me. Rosario doesn't bother me so much, but because you got to have lefties. I mean, what else are you going to do? You have Joe. This is one thing that it doesn't infuriate me, but I just have to raise my eyebrow whenever I hear it. I understand that Joe does make mistakes with the bullpen.
Yes.
However, there are certain situations that demand a matchup, lefty-lefty, righty-righty, and if you look at who is available in the bullpen, he kind of has his hands tied in a lot of ways with who he is and isn't able to use based on how previous games had gone. And to just say and start first guessing everything he does, and every time a reliever gives up a run, people blame Joe Madden as if it's his job to make sure that pitcher doesn't give up a run. It's the pitcher's job. The pitcher didn't locate a fastball in the outside corner properly and gave up a screaming double to right field. These are things that Joe has to trust his guys. He has no choice but to trust the guys in that bullpen. My one issue, aside from every time Brad Brach has come in since the beginning of June, my one issue was when he brought in Montgomery in a situation that I felt demanded Montgomery not be in the game. He had Maples in. Maples was pitching fine.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it was that was the one time I had a hard time with. Everything else,
I agree.
I understand. I get it.
I just don't understand Ritty Rosario. You have Kyle Ryan. Use him.
Okay.
I understand not using Monty because he was traded. Obviously, they couldn't.
Sure.
But you have Kyle Ryan for that situation, not Randy Rosario. I'm sorry. Randy Rosario is not a major league pitcher.
Okay. I respect where you're coming from with that. Kyle Ryan is a good pitcher.
Yes, and which I never thought I would say.
Right.
Honestly, I did not think that was going to happen, but it does. He is a solid lefty out of a pen. Randy Rosario just isn't. Brad Brock, I'm with you. I'm kind of done with him. I'm over Brad Brock. I don't like the way he throws the ball. I don't like anything about him when it comes to baseball related.
And nothing about him is good.
No.
He gives up so many walks.
He probably drinks Bud Light.
He's not the guy that the Cubs thought they were getting, and it's too bad, because a lot of these guys I feel good about when the Cubs sign them, and you can kind of talk yourself into it or look at their past peripherals, and you get excited when they're added to the rotation or the lineup. And so many of them haven't worked out. I mean, John Lester is an all-time success story for free agents. And honestly, I think we talked about this either last episode or the one before, that Jason Hayward's going to be a thumbs up by the time he's done.
Yes,
even without, the World Series championship is an automatic 10 out of 10.
Yes.
But even in addition to that, this year and the next 2 or 3, he's going to end up being a positive. But you got a lot of negatives on that ledger right now, and that needs to change. And that's not all on Thed and Jed and Theo.
Thed. I like that. Thed
and Gio. I don't know. I don't know what I can say. I know what they were thinking with Brock. He has good, heavy stuff. He just can't find the strike zone this season, and it's perplexing because he hasn't had this problem in the past.
Where's Xavier Cedeno?
On a ball field somewhere.
Is he? Are we sure on this one? Because I feel like no one has said his name in a very, very long time.
Well,
I feel like
job.
it's Voldemort. Like, I just said his name, and it's pretty much that, so much time has passed. No one actually knew who I was talking about, but now everybody does.
Well,
That
he
was not
last
Voldemort,
pitched on May 21st.
Oh, yeah, that's soon ago. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So looking to see here what we got going on.
Is he
I'm
in
gonna have to
Iowa?
look that up for you.
Is he in Iowa?
He might be in Iowa. I'm checking.
Is he? Because I was excited for Xavier Cedeno. I was excited for Cedeno, and because he was supposed to be that other lefty, he was supposed to be Kyle Ryan, but he wasn't.
No, he was not. Very astute.
Very astute. Timer's up on the Reds, or talking about the Cubs baseball time that they're playing. You know where I was going with that. But we're not done talking about it, and that's okay. They can't beat the Reds. It's so frustrating. What didn't you say the stat? The Reds are playing 700 ball against the Cubs, and for the rest of Major League Baseball, they're playing below 500, 444.
444. Yeah, they're pulling a Jay-Z on the rest of the league, a 444.
444. I don't get it. Why does Yasiel Puig all of a sudden turn into a National League MVP when he plays the Cubs?
Excellent question. I have no idea. He
not that good.
And by the way, he has 22 home runs this season, so it's not just against the Cubs,
Okay,
but
he plays
he's a
in
much better
Cincinnati.
player against
He
them.
plays in that ballpark. His home ballpark is Great American Small Park.
Mm-hmm.
That's
true.
the nickname for Cincinnati's ballpark.
And, despite that, I'm going to have to look up his numbers against the Cubs because they are very impressive. He's hitting 263 this year, 22 home runs. Fine player this year. And you look at kind of his numbers, and he started out so hot in his career, first couple of seasons, and then he got exposed as being a really weird guy when he got more national attention, like in 2016 when the Dodgers made it deep into the playoffs, and it overshadows just what a good player he was to start his career out.
Yeah, it really does. It really, really does. So you know who is a Cubs killer? I'm going to add him to the list.
Eugenio Suarez, for sure.
Yes, sir. Added to the list.
Yep. Puig is average. He's average against the Cubs. He's hitting 268, 806 OPS this year. He has 3 home runs, which exacerbates the issue in 10 games.
What?
So that's one thing. He has more. The only team he has more homers against this season is the Brewers. He's
Hey, that's good.
killing the Brewers.
Good.
Please keep killing the Brewers.
Good.
He's hitting 389 against the Brewers this year in 11 games. He has 4 home runs. His OPS is 1272. The man is Robel Garcia against the Brewers.
I love it. Keep that up, Yasiel. Just stop hitting against the Cubs.
Indeed.
You too, Suarez.
Yes.
Who do you think you are?
Also, fun fact, just real quick, I know we have like 3 minutes. We got to get to our final thought. Against the Texas Rangers this season in 3 games, Yasiel Puig is batting .583 with a 1.782 OPS. He killed the Rangers in the 3 games they played against them this season. Just a fun fact.
That is a fun fact. That is a trivia question when you are doing Cuban-born baseball players.
Yes, dude hit 340 in interleague play this year. Wow.
There we go. There we go. Do you see the Cubs turning around against the Reds at any point this season?
At any point. 9 games to go this year. At any point, do they just continue getting throttled? I say the Cubs go in their last 9 games against the Reds. I say the Cubs go 6-3.
Ooh. So that means they would be 9-10 on the year against the Reds.
Yes, which after the way the season starts,
I would be okay with. I'll take that any day. This is the Ivy Boys podcast presented by Rebecca Lewis of Coldwell Banker Gundecker. If you don't want to strike out and sell in your home, contact the real MVP realtor. That was weird. Of the St. Louis area. Rebecca Lewis with Coldwell Banker Gundecker can answer all your questions related to selling your home fast. Her detailed marketing plan will outline her impressive online presence and a recommended professionals list that includes contractors, painters, home cleaning, and a home staging service that will keep your home at the top of any buyer's must-have list. Rebecca knows this area, can expertly consult you on your area's property values, information about housing trends, and how Coldwell Banker Gundecker will get your home sold fast. Call Rebecca Lewis at 314-369-9680 to get your home on the market now. Again, that's 314-369-9680. Or RebeccaSellsDreams.com. Says it right there. Presented by RebeccaSellsDreams.com. So do that. All right. So, since you already finished your bomb pop, it's that time. Joel, you know what time it is.
Is it chug time?
Oh, it's chug time, boy.
Oh, let's hear it.
We'll get the
Let's
music
see
going.
it. So what's your booze?
Okay. There we go. I like this song now, by the way.
It's all you.
I just want to point that out. It's a nice song. It's a good song. I'll start singing here shortly. Dun, 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 dun.
Was tut man denn nicht für den Fremden?
I was lipping it like I knew what he was saying. Okay, so my beer choice today is something really cool. Me and my family, we went to the St. Louis Zoo, and if you ever come to St. Louis and you're looking for something to do, the zoo should be at the top of your list. The St. Louis Zoo has been voted the best zoo in all of America, and it's free. It's free. It's awesome. For just being able to walk right in, it's amazing. They have all these new exhibits with seals and penguins. They have grizzly bears. It's awesome. And speaking of grizzly bear, that's what I'm drinking tonight. This beer is called Grizzly Ridge Kolsch Ale. It's made by Urban Chestnut. Urban Chestnut is a local brewer here in St. Louis. Sticking with my theme here, they brew it here, which is nice, and it's canned here too, which a lot of people can't say. I guess I don't know why they made a point to put that on there, but I did have one already of this beer, and I really, really enjoy it. It's not as hoppy as a pale ale, but it's not as light as a lager or a light beer. It has a little hop to it. Now, I that's the kind of beer I'm starting to really enjoy.
Ooh, excited.
So here, this literally is called St. Louis Zoo Beer. I misspelled it. I should have done B-I-E-R, and I did B-E-E-R on the thing underneath me. So
A little Zoo Brew. Here we go.
Zoo Brew. So here we go. The STL Zoo Beer Kolsch Ale. I'm excited. All right. Turn up the music a little bit.
Alle Fremden bleiben ganz verwundert stehen,
All right.
als sie
Cheers,
sowas
and the
noch
Reds are
nirgends
still
gesehen.
stupid. Oh. Ooh, that was good.
Good.
Gosh, I like that beer. That is a lot better than that Hefeweizen that I had last week.
Yeah, you were unhappy, and I was unhappy for you.
I was very unhappy with that thing. Very unhappy. But that was very good. Like I said, it has a little hop to it, hop flavor to it, which I enjoy. I enjoy it. It's different than like drinking a Miller Lite or a lager or something like, or something. It's something different. It's good. It's better. It's better than drinking a wheat beer all the time too. It's good to branch out. Oh my. Whew. That one came up through my nose. Okay. All right. So I don't think we have any other topics. So I think we're going to go ahead. Game's going to start soon. Let's fly into our final thoughts. Joel, go ahead.
Final thought tonight at Wrigley Field: the 1969 Cubs are being honored at Wrigley tonight. 50th anniversary of maybe the greatest baseball team that never won anything.
Yes.
They didn't make the playoffs because of the Miracle Mets, the Black Cat that crossed onto the field. All the lore and mystique that goes around that team that's negative. But remember, that team had 4 Hall of Famers on it. You had Billy Williams, Ron Santo, Ernie Banks, Fergie Jenkins, and the team could not break through. And it not only should you remember how truly fantastic that team was, I hope. I will remember how great that team was through the videos that I've seen and just the stories that I've been told from family members about how special they were. But it reminds you that this is what we are in right now. This is the best time to be a Cubs fan in the history of the franchise, because we no longer have to glorify and deify teams that never won a division, never won a pennant, never won a World Series. The older generation, Cubs fans who are our parents' age, they have to hold on to that part of their youth. And the part of their youth they're holding on to is one that unfortunately is mired in great individual performances, but team futility. And just be grateful that this is the era that you have the opportunity and the privilege to grow up in as a Cubs fan.
That's really good. That was a good final thought. I'm happy about that. That's good. 1969. Nice. Who doesn't like that year? Like that was fun year.
What a nice year.
What a nice year. So nice. Okay, my final thought is we are officially in Hug Watch. More, Hug Watch. Hashtag Hug Watch. You can see that a lot. So for you people who don't know what Hug Watch means, basically you are watching, there are people literally watching the dugouts at every level of baseball this time of year. Because the trade deadline's coming up. Because if you start seeing a player hug his teammates and coaches and then head to the clubhouse, most likely he's been traded. And then if it's somebody of importance, either on the major league roster or one of your top prospects doing Hug Watch, hugging those players, then most likely it's a major move. So that's where we are. Because we are now, I got to do math, 2 weeks away from the deadline. This is going to be a fun 2 weeks because this is going to decide who is buyers and sellers. Because in the National League, there is a lot of teams that think that they still have a shot. For instance, the Giants. Everybody assumes they're going to be sellers and most likely will be. But I think they're only like 3 games out of a playoff spot. The Cardinals are in a playoff spot right now. But are they buyers or sellers? Are they big buyers? Do they go for it? Or are they little buyers and go get like a Joe Smith like the Cubs did in 2015? It'll be interesting. It really will. The Cubs are buyers. That is a guarantee. How big of a buy are the Cubs going to take? That is what we're going to decide these next 2 weeks because if the Cubs keep playing the way that they did in the first half, they will be big buyers. Everybody is available with the exception of possibly like 3 people. That's where we are. And if the Cubs can play like they did against Pittsburgh and play the next 2 weeks like that, they very well may not be a big buyer. They might just be somebody who goes and fills holes like middle relief and possibility of another outfielder. These next 2 weeks will be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for it. So that's where we are, Joel. That's where
And
we
those
are.
next 2 weeks start tonight.
That's right. That's right. So everybody go enjoy the game. We're done. You know our stuff. Follow us on Twitter, the Ivy Boys. Follow me on Twitter underneath me at Chipperstrike3, just the number 3. Follow Joel on Twitter at Fry Sports Radio. Like us on Facebook. All that fun stuff. Go to our website. Check out Joel's blogs there. They're really good. There we go. Joel, you got one coming soon?
Yeah, so I'm off work on Friday. I'm going to be doing my hot dog taste test that day. I've been trying to work it through with the wife. We had a family reunion this past week and every kind of thing. So with the new baby, I'm off on Friday, and I'll be writing and filming some stuff for the YouTube page on that day. It's just going to be basically a big Ivy Boys day.
Very excited about that. Content is coming, I promise to you, on the website and on the YouTube page. On this YouTube channel, you're going to see Joel's first fry foods, and I'm very excited about that one. I love the idea of hot dogs. Who doesn't love hot dogs as long as there's no ketchup on them?
This is National Hot Dog Week.
It is. I think that, what is the age limit? After 8, ketchup doesn't belong on a hot dog.
I would grant it up to 11, but I understand what you're saying.
Okay. 10. We'll meet in the middle.
Okay. 10-year-olds can have ketchup. After
Yes,
that,
that's it. Yeah. Anyways, if you like the way our website looks, head down. You know the drill. BobRufo.com. BobRufo.com. He can do anything for you. He can make hats like this, logos like that. Our logo, if you like that, Bob can do it. You like the way our website look, Bob can do it. He can do anything for you. And then when he partners with Vince to bring you things like this YouTube page, it's outstanding. This is top notch right here. This is Joe Rogan experience level. Okay, I went a little far. But you know what I'm saying. It's really good. It's better than a lot of other podcasts that are on YouTube. Because Joel and Vince know what they're doing. And if you like what they're doing, and if you get to know Joel, and if you want to know more about Bob and Vince, check out their podcast, Beyond the Cube. Beyond the Cube, you can find them on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Store, all that. Beyond the Cube, best podcast in the 815. So definitely check them out there. YouTube page. You're already here. Subscribe, like to it. You know what to do on that one. Turn your notifications on so you know when a new video pops up or when we go live for a podcast. That's it for us, folks. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate the support, and we will see you next episode.